Welcome to Talk About Topeka. I'm Chris Schultz. Tonight I'll meet with Diana Ramirez from Express Employment Professionals, though she might be disappointed to find out that this job keeps me pretty busy. But first, we'll show you my trip to Architect One, where Scott Gales takes us on a tour of what they've done with the place inside and out. This episode is sponsored by the WIBW channels and wire hangers. Hi, Joan Crawford. And it all starts right now. Hey, how are you, Scott?
Good.
Good
Welcome
to see
to
you.
Architect One.
Absolutely. I've wanted to get over here, and I said I'm not going to come over until we could have you on the show because I wanted to experience this place like the magic of seeing an old building come to life, and that's what it has done here. It's beautiful. Tell us about this thing.
Well, it's an exciting project. We bought the building March 1st, and it's been a project. Mm-hmm. It had about 3 months worth of construction. We had to demo it bare. It had a bad mold problem and required a lot of remediation, and so we stripped it bare. It was basically open from front to back wall, and all the way from that building over there, the 1880s building, to our end wall here. And then from there, we kind of came in with our new layout, and what you're going to see today is what we've come up with, and we're nearly finished.
Well, it's spectacular. I'll tell you, I have been, I'm across the street from you guys, and I've been looking at this building just sit here and do nothing, and it's been hurting my heart for so long.
It is a long ways to walk.
Well, and it's a cool building. I'm so glad we can have a use for it, and to see, a couple of new neighbors moving into the neighborhood down here. It's been a big thing. I know that sign was in the window for a long time for sale, and I'd heard the stories of the mold, and I thought, oh gosh, somebody's going to knock it down, and I'm so glad you didn't.
Well, we're grateful there was enough there to work with that once we were able to get it clean and cleared out, we were able to come in and do a layout that we felt worked for us for a design firm. Mm-hmm. And we love being downtown. When I started with my business partner Mike Wilson back in 1993, we were actually in the old Columbian Title and Trust building. And after a year, we kind of had outgrown our space, and just for one reason or another, we ended up on the west side of town. It was just kind of the place to go at the time, and it's just a natural evolution for us to come full circle, and it's exciting to be back down. I remember what I liked about being here the first time, and then it's tenfold greater. So
excellent, yeah. Well, take us on a tour of the place.
Well,
let's see what you got.
Obviously we're unlike our old place. We have a nice lobby now. We're able to kind of welcome our clients in, and we've got lots of natural sunlight. Some of it was part of the original windows, which you're going to see, and then some of it we cut openings into the existing walls that weren't there. The light wasn't there, so we're bringing the light inside the middle of the building, which just makes it seem that much nicer. So,
and you guys have been working on this, so you might see a little work paper and all that around here, but it's a constant process, isn't it?
Well, we moved in with a little bit of work to do, so it's kind of wrapping up the loose ends. We've kind of been all the touch-up paint. The paint's always the last thing. You want everybody out of here, and so we've fortunately wrapped up everything else, and the painter's able to do his final touch-up work, which you're going to see it makes it look pretty cool. So,
well, first and foremost, the staircase that you guys were able to keep.
Yeah,
that's original.
It is original, 1961. Obviously, that's not old by today's standards, but it is. It's cool in that normally we wouldn't be able to do a circular stairway as a main approach, but we're able to keep this. So, we're able to use the elevator, and it kind of gives that entrance into our upper level office.
It is a grand entrance. It's pretty cool.
Makes it a lot of fun. So, and then by cutting the openings out to our outdoor office space, brings all the natural light into the lobby space. So you don't just come up into a dark area. It just makes it.
We'll end our tour there. I can't wait to get out to that place because that's pretty cool. It has the best view in the city.
We like our clients when they arrive to be part of the experience. We've prepared a nice conference room space that opens up onto the avenue. We kept the original window openings. We just put all new windows, new sills. We stripped the plaster that was on the party wall that we share with the building next door off, and it almost created kind of a mosaic art with all the field stone and the original brick. So those are openings that were in the original 1880 building when the building here was, from that era. And it was torn down before the building built in 1961, obviously. So our building is a modern building by today's standards. It's steel and concrete, which gives us a lot of flexibilities, whereas an older building has a lot more character in some cases, but you have to deal with some of the older aspects of construction methodology. So,
well, it always makes me wonder, why did they cover those walls with plaster when they had something that cool when they built these things originally? or in their renovations or however they did it.
It's funny because sometimes we'll have clients that want that kind of wall, with a veneer that's not authentic, and they'll pay extra for it. Whereas in our case, we had to strip the plaster off to get the authentic part. So it's the cool factor is a lot of fun.
Yeah,
so
it really is.
This room's about it's about 50% bigger than the space we had before, so it allows us to entertain our clients. Our office has grown, so we can hold all our staff meetings in here now, and utilizing modern technology. We have the video boards, and it's a nice space to welcome our clients and to also kind of present who we are as an architectural firm. So plus then having the view on the avenue just keeps us engaged in the downtown. So what we've been able to do is moving from the southwest part of town, we were in 1,800 square feet, and coming over here, we're now in about 4,100 square feet. So we got a lot more elbow room. We were able to kind of create some of these more convenient spaces that we didn't have over there, and make it so when clients come, we've kind of got separated the back operation space with kind of the front office space.
Sure.
So we used the wall side where we shared space or shared the party wall next door as kind of where the principal's offices are and our meeting rooms, and then the other half of the building where we were able to open up the windows in the wall is where we've put all the offices for our staff and our design staff, and the workspace, so it kind of keeps a lot of natural light in. The rooms are open, so it lets the light filter all the way through, so makes for nice space, and it makes it feel open when you come through. It's not all cut up into small spaces. So
It really is a nice feeling.
Plenty of room to expand and grow. We've designed it so we can add additional staff, as our success would come along. We've made sure that we've added enough design space in here so that we have rooms that we can use now for things like samples and supplies, but we could also, if we add business partners, we could turn it into another principal's office.
Sure.
Coming through here, we have kind of privacy, but we also have openness so that folks can collaborate and utilize the space, and everybody's able to get back here and work with minimal distraction, but they can get around easily and enjoy it. So we're unique in that our building doesn't go all the way back to the alleyway, which is a benefit when you're downtown because folks talk about parking.
Yeah.
So we were fortunate, kind of the back third of our lot is a parking lot.
Absolutely.
So
that's
that's nice.
something everybody talks about.
It's when you're not having to use a parking garage, it's a benefit for us. It's a benefit for our clients. Now, obviously, you can park on the avenue for a couple hours, but for us, it's convenient that we have enough stalls for as many as 16 vehicles on our site, and that's unusual downtown. So made the property that much more valuable to us.
Absolutely. So, that's definitely a nice trait.
Well, why don't we go to our special space, which is our outdoor office, and I'll show you what we've been able to put together there.
I'm ready to see it.
Since this building was originally housing a savings and loan, it had a drive-through. There's only 4 of them downtown right now. By that meaning that space where you can pull through and do a transaction, like a bank transaction. So I think only 2 of them now are actually being used by lending institutions. So ours was one of them that hadn't been used in many years. Zerker originally used it as a drop-off for their film business, but
so we're on top of the drive-through.
We're on top of the drive-through.
How cool.
And in this case, this was dead space. It wasn't being used for anything. In fact, the wall to the avenue went all the way up to the height of our building. It was about 15 feet tall. And we climbed up a ladder, and we were standing out here, and it didn't drain off, so there's about 2 inches of water in here. And we're kind of thinking, God, this seems like such wasted space. Can we build out onto here? Can we, use a tenant on the lower level and come up through the roof and actually have kind of a bonus tenant space here? And we got to brainstorming, and we thought, wouldn't it be awesome if we had our own outdoor space? And we got to looking at this wall, and we talked to some guys that are, specialize in demolition, and they said, there's nothing keeping us from taking that wall down and come out here and use this outdoor space. And so we went through the exercise, demoed the wall down, trimmed it out, put the openings that we talked about that bring the natural light in. Well, those kind of also allow us to kind of engage the space and a doorway. And then recently we just completed kind of the base part of our patio deck here, and are kind of working now on the furnishings on how we're going to detail it out. But it's approximately 30 by 30. We're calling it the outdoor office. It's unique. There's not
we all want one of those.
Yeah, absolutely. Since we do a lot of stuff with Wi-Fi connectivity in our office, our iPads and laptops allows us to come out here and hold just as quality a meeting with our clients on a nice morning or afternoon out here on the patio, as well as we would do inside. So once we have it furnished and we can entertain our clients or hold evening events out here, and maybe even allow events that are occurring downtown to be hosted up here. So we're pretty excited about it. It's a unique space. There's not too many of them like this on the avenue. In our particular case, you come walking out and you are here on the avenue. For us, this feels like the big city.
Yeah, it is.
This is without being in Chicago or New York, this is our version of Chicago or New York here in Topeka. So
that's right.
It's a lot of fun. We worked with a lot of trades and craftsmen around town to get the finishes the way we wanted them, and to trim it out, because we wanted it to be nice for our standards, but we wanted to also show our clients what they could do with similar spaces.
Sure.
Our hope is that people come up here and see not only what we've done with our space, but what other folks have done downtown, and say, using a little creativity or kind of inspiration, look at all the other buildings that have very similar opportunities with them, and say, wow, we could do that too. And we didn't break the bank doing this. We spent a little money to do it. It's not cheap, but the return on it is far more than what we would have spent if we would have bought a piece of dirt and tried to recreate it from scratch.
Yeah.
We're in for about half the cost of what it would have cost us to do it from ground up. So that's what's amazing. And
especially talking about what's to come with the downtown plan. I mean,
absolutely.
You've got plazas in the middle of the street. This is going to be a great view for that. The parades.
Yeah.
This is you got something right here, buddy.
It is fun. It's exciting. It really is, because you go tour other communities that have started a little sooner than we did as a community in refurbishing their downtown and reinvesting in it, and you see what they've come up with and the reinvestment that's come after the initial investment, and you keep thinking, wow, with every opportunity something like this comes up and somebody makes that investment, you just make it that much more unique.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
We're pumped about it. So
you got a great seat over here. Let's take a seat for a minute.
Yep. We got to get some cocktails.
Yeah.
So, too bad I don't have a waitress on staff.
I'll just snap across the street. Very cool. It's just a wonderful day in downtown Topeka, and I mean, we're talking about things happening in downtown. And you guys did, and you said earlier, you were all around and you decided to come downtown. Why did you do that?
Well, Mike, my business partner, is originally from Topeka, and I'm not. I'm from a small town, but when I grew up, our downtown, our main street, was kind of the hub of the town. That's where everything happened. We'd go down there on Wednesdays or Thursday evenings, and the stores would be open, and that's where the movie theater was. And I kind of grew up in a community where everyone you knew, you saw them downtown. If it wasn't at a school function, it was downtown. And so it was part of my raising. It was part of what I expected kind of community life would be. So, coming to Topeka and initially starting in the downtown area, I liked it. My wife is an RN, and so she would always go to work early. I would come downtown early. I would go eat breakfast at the Downtowner, and I would come over and work at our office. And then you'd eat downtown. Many times I would never go anywhere in my car unless I had to go run an errand, for business purposes, because we did a lot of our transaction downtown.
Yeah.
Well, I found that after we moved southwest with our office, and I liked the office we were in. We owned it, and I liked that part of town. It's a nice area, but anytime we had to do something, I had to hop in my car, whether it was to go eat lunch or to meet with clients, unless they were coming to our office.
Yeah.
We were constantly traveling, and we spent a lot of our time traveling to meetings or events in the downtown area. And I've kind of found that since we've moved here in June, which it's now getting 2.5, 3 months, I've only been to that part of town 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
And yet there's days here, 2 or 3 days a week, where my car never leaves the drive-through where we park.
Yeah.
I'm doing a lot of my transactions, meeting clients at a coffee shop, or I'm meeting at a restaurant for lunch, or...
And you have a spectacular place now that they're going to want to come and meet you.
In fact, we've found that it's made it that much more interesting. Folks want to come down here and visit our space, or they've got other business to do down here, and so they're coming down here to do other transactions, stopping in to meet with us. Whereas where we were located on the southwest part of town, it was a great setting, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't like that was the core of where commerce and business occurred. I mean, it was a perfect setting for a suburban style office environment, but it wasn't suitable to do a concentrated amount of business.
Right.
So, it's exciting for us. We like the energy of being down here. Our staff like the cool kind of environment of being in the downtown.
Well, hey Scott, I have to stop you right there for our television segment of the show, but you can watch more coverage. We're going to sit right here and chat more with Scott Gales from Architect One online. So check that out at talkabouttopeka.com for that extended coverage. Thanks, Scott.
Thank you, Chris. Thanks for coming by.
You bet. Well, folks, we're back here in Studio 10 in the Blimp, and I am with Diana Ramirez from Express Employment Services. How are you doing, Diana?
I'm great, thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So you're a local company around Topeka. Tell us what you do.
Well, I own a staffing agency here in Topeka, and I also own one in Emporia as well.
Very cool. And so I've never actually dealt with a staffing agency before, so tell me how it works.
Well, it's really simple. We make the process of interviewing, finding a new place of employment easy. We're the person that coordinates between the client companies and the candidate who's looking for a new employment, and we do all of the work to help the individual with that process.
That's cool. That's cool. And do you have like personnel, sir? Do you have your own people that go in like temp services, or just is it a whole kind of gamut here?
We're full service,
Okay.
which means is we do have a temporary contract side of our business, but we also have a professional recruiting side as well, which is direct hire placements.
Absolutely. And I've always wondered, like with the temporary service, how does that work?
The temporary service, our clients contact us, local companies. We are there to fill a need such as maybe a short-term project, a long-term project, or even an individual who they want to see their skills before they actually make a permanent decision for a permanent placement. Mm-hmm. So we actually, again, just coordinate all those activities, introduce the candidate to the company, and vice versa. Introduce the company to the client, applicant, and see if we make a match.
And what's your background, and how did you come to owning this company?
Well, I've been doing this for about 20 years. Mm-hmm. I purchased the Topeka business in 2008, and then I opened the second location in 2012, earlier this year.
Cool. Congratulations on the expansion.
Thank you. And I knew what I was purchasing. I knew that this is what I enjoyed. I love helping people find employment. And so I knew when the opportunity came up to purchase the business, it was the right thing for me to do.
And a question here about, the Topeka and this area market. I know we've really seen a lot of, bad when it's come to the employment market across the country. But how has it affected here in the Topeka area and, say the Northeast Kansas region?
Actually, right now, even though unemployment is still high, the trends are getting much better. There's opportunity. Our business has seen an increase from 2012, so that means companies are not feeling as nervous anymore. They are hiring, they are restaffing those positions that they kept open for some time while we were going through the recession, but there is plenty of opportunity and plenty of jobs available. In the central region, we're about 6 to 9 months behind some of the media that's reported. A lot of that information is coming from the East Coast, West Coast, but when we're right here in the middle, we're about 6 to 9 months behind.
So are we able to look at that as a crystal ball? Is that what's coming our way?
It's a good planning source, if you will. When other parts of the country were reporting gloom and doom, we didn't really feel it, but we did feel it, ultimately. But we're back on track, and the forecast for our industry is wonderful. More opportunities for individuals who have been unemployed are going to be finding employment. They're going to now be in a position where they're going to have hopefully multiple offers.
Oh, that's very cool. Very cool. Well, how about bringing professionals to Topeka? If you're looking for specific things, and we always talk about the young professionals and trying to recruit them to come to town. What's important for the city to do to be able to make that happen?
We need to continue to offer opportunity to our young folks. Because Express is affiliated with 620 offices, that is one of my challenges.
Sure.
I belong to this networking organization of express offices all over the country. So I'm competing with other larger cities, and I need to have Topeka as attractive as possible. I think we have a lot to offer. I think sometimes those of us who have been in the city for a long time, we don't recognize the opportunities, and we need to make sure that we embrace all of the good things that are happening in Topeka.
Yeah.
So it's really fun when we get to bring in folks from outside our community who are looking at employment opportunities and showing them around town. That's the fun part of my job.
I bet it is, especially just, I mean, there's so many good assets to be able to show off. And,
Absolutely. We're the state capital, and we just go from there.
so I understand you're celebrating a specific goal here. Tell us about that.
This is really exciting for Express. This is our 30th year anniversary.
30 years, that's awesome.
Thank you.
So is Express a franchise, an individual company? Like, how does that work?
Great question. Express Employment Professionals is a franchise system. I own the Topeka and Emporia locations. We are 2 offices of 620 around the U.S. We also have crossed the borders. We're in Australia, South Africa, and Canada. We are the largest privately owned staffing company in the U.S.
So tell us a little bit about the business itself, and you know, if I needed some assistance through my business, how would I get in touch with you guys?
Well, we would love for everyone just to give us a call. We're fully staffed here in the Topeka and Emporia office. You would meet with one of our consultants, one of our recruiters, myself. We would want to visit with you about what your needs are. What types of positions are you trying to fill? At that time, we would talk to you about the candidates that were currently in our database, or if we do need to go outside our community to recruit. So we're going to want to have just a brief meeting, sit down with you, understand your business, because once we understand your business, it makes it really helpful when we're turning around and selling your company to others that we are potentially your new employees.
And you're working with all kinds of businesses, from say eateries to architects. You know,
Absolutely. Again, because we're full service, we're able to, on our professional side of our business, we're able to recruit accounting, finance, IT engineers, HR managers, sales. On our administrative division, those are positions such as administrative customer service reps, accounting assistants. And then on our commercial side of our business, that would be all of our skilled labor, including machinists, welders, electricians, and our general laborers as well.
Sure, very cool. Well, Diana, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
And how are folks here going to find you? You have a website for your business?
We do. Our website is expresspros.com and select Topeka. And then we will get your application and give you a call thereafter.
Very good. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate you swinging by today.
Thank you.
And good luck with everything you do.
Thank you.
Thanks again to Scott Gales and Diana Ramirez. This episode was sponsored by the WIBW channels and Batman vs. the Gorn, our next feature film. Poor Ben Affleck. At least people are talking about Miley Cyrus instead now. I was going to twerk it for you, but it appears that we've run out of time. Perhaps next week. Be sure to check us out online, keep circulating the tapes, skim the Topeka newsletter, and for my sake, keep talking about Topeka.